Breaking news from our Adrian Wojnarowski. Just 4 days before Zion's NBA career was scheduled to start, word that he will miss a period of weeks to start this regular season because of a troublesome right knee. It's the same knee that he injured when he blew through his shoe at Duke, and he banged it up in a summer league game as well. Let's bring in Woj. Now, any definitive news on how much time or what the injury might be? What can you tell us here, Woj?
David, the Pelicans are still examining their findings from, some testing they did on that right knee of Zion Williamson. The good news for them is this. This is not a severe knee injury. They believe he's going to make a full recovery. But the expectation is he's going to miss a period of weeks to start the regular season in New Orleans. And they are still finalizing the exact timeline injury, but New Orleans is preparing to start their regular season without the number 1 overall pick in June's draft.
Woj, we had heard this as knee soreness. Is there a point in time that people are looking at and saying he injured the knee here, or is it just something that's sort of accumulated over time?
That's unclear, David. He stayed back in New Orleans. The Pelicans went to New York, traveled there yesterday. He stayed back, had testing done, and they're still finalizing the diagnosis, but they have ruled out a significant or a very serious knee injury, but they are under the belief now that Zion will be out to start the regular season for an undetermined period of weeks, but there's confidence there. He's going to make a full recovery, and of course, they're going to be abundantly cautious with any injury with a player of this magnitude. You've seen already what he did in the regular season. The preseason, he had started, to really live up to a hype that we haven't seen for a player in a very long time, but they expect him back here in a period of weeks in New Orleans.
Yeah, really difficult news for that whole team, that whole fan base, and of course for Zion Williamson himself. There's so much excitement for him to make his NBA start, and now we're going to have to wait for a period of weeks. Woj with that story. So take a look at Zion. Made a huge splash in the preseason, as Woj alluded to. The first player in the last 20 years to average 20 points per game on 70% shooting. His 23 points per, also the most by a rookie in the last 20 preseasons. Carrie?
All right, David, we have another knee injury we needed to talk about. It's the Chiefs. They traveled to Denver to take on the Broncos. Before the game, Patrick Mahomes warming up, looking really healthy. Remember, the ankle was the initial concern over the last 3 games. However, take a look here, second quarter. Mahomes does a quarterback sneak for a first down. Everyone gets up off the pile except for Mahomes. Look closely. You can see after this that his teammates actually fall on his knee. They try to pop that knee back into place. Yeah, not
there it is.
Pretty. There it is. All right, so Mahomes would be able to actually get up and walk to the locker room under his own power. His teammates, though, however, were a little concerned about him when they first didn't know. Travis Kelce saying his knee didn't even look like a knee at one point. He was ruled out for the rest of the game. Here are his teammates, specifically the Chiefs center, talking about what happened when they landed on Mahomes.
I think I was just yelling, get off me, but I didn't realize it was him. And everybody's telling me, I'm hearing from the refs, just stay still. And I'm just laying on my stomach face down. I just had to listen to the refs and not move. As soon as I realized it was his voice, I was like, all right, I'm not moving an inch.
What impressed me the most is how strong he was through that. He stayed calm. He was just like, it's out. And then next thing you know, the medical team jumped on the field, pop it right back in, and Pat is basically walking off the field.
It's good to know he was able to walk off the field. Afterwards, he's letting everyone know everything is okay. Awesome team win. Love my brothers. Thank you for all the prayers. Everything looking good so far. God is good. Chiefs Kingdom. All right, so we want the latest. Our Ed Warder is in Kansas. So, Ed, obviously the question is, what's the latest on Patrick Mahomes and the MRI?
Well, Kerry, I can just tell you that the Chiefs returned to Kansas City, arriving at 4:30 this morning, following Andy Reid's 200th regular season career victory. Reid's already in his office down at the team facility just down the road with Patrick Mahomes still scheduled for that MRI on his injured right knee. Reid told me they're not very far along in the process of determining how to proceed yet, as the coaching staff has just begun to return to work. And this could require several days to resolve. Reid does have a conference call with the media scheduled in about an hour, so we may get some more detail there. The Chiefs could face some complicated decisions pending the outcome of those imaging tests. Mahomes dislocated his kneecap, as you saw, but if he didn't damage it beyond that, the possibility exists that he could potentially play in a few weeks wearing a protective knee brace. If there's more damage requiring immediate surgery, the Chiefs would have to contemplate placing Mahomes on injured reserve. They likely have to sign another quarterback either way, and they do have extra time before their next game to get Matt Moore some of his first practice reps after he replaced Mahomes in Denver. Moore hasn't started an NFL game since Week 12 in 2017, Kerry.
And no word yet on the MRI, not far along in the process. That's what you're being told. That's our Ed Warder with the very latest. Meanwhile, we talked about possibly signing someone else. Let's take a look at the Chiefs' schedule, shall we? They have a mini-bye, 10 days between games, but the Chiefs' first test will be when they are without Mahomes on national television next Sunday against the Packers. Afterward, the Chiefs get the Vikings at home and the Titans on the road before heading to Mexico City to face the Chargers on Monday Night Football. David.
Let's go to the baseball. The Astros season taking on an inevitable quality. Game 4 last night in the Bronx, with Houston looking to take a 3-1 edge on the Yankees. It was a bit blustery. Remnants of the bomb cyclone in the Northeast. Brett Gardner up with the bases loaded in the first. Zach Greinke couldn't find the plate. Walks Gardner to bring in a run. 3 walks in a first inning for Greinke for the first time in 12 years. So, a lot of concern for Astros fans early. This guy.
Very concerned. What?
It's the first inning, dude. Chill.
What?
Pace yourself. Brad Peacock warming up. Yankees up 1-0. They had all the makings of a big inning, and then opportunity missed. Gary Sanchez, 2 for 17 in the series, strikes out with the bases loaded. So Greinke gets out of it. To the third we go. Astros still trailing by a run. Masahiro Tanaka to George Springer, and George didn't miss. Sticks this one into the people. 3-run home run. The World Series MVP from 2 years ago with his 13th career postseason homer, passing his teammate Jose Altuve for the most in Astros history. Tanaka looking to the heavens. Astros up 3-1. To the 5th. Greinke's out, Ryan Presley in, bases loaded again for the Yankees. For Gleyber Torres, that Astros fan hyperventilating, and Torres, who's been the lone bright spot for the Yankees, couldn't check the swing. He went 0 for 5 on the night. Astros fan doing better. We move along. Next batter, Edwin Encarnacion, 1 for 15 in this series. Yankees cannot hit with runners on. The best hitting team in baseball with runners in scoring position in the regular season, hitting just 160 with RISP through the 5th inning of Game 4 against the Astros. To the 6th we go. Carlos Correa up, 2 men on, and there he goes. And he hits it almost like 2 people away from where Springer went earlier. Another 3-run home run. Those two, by the way, have homered in the same postseason game 6 times. That's an MLB record. We got some DAP at home plate. The Yankee fans just bury their heads. Astros take a 3-1 series lead, trying to close it out tonight. Let's get to Game 5 in the Bronx. Starting with some numbers. How about 5.23? That's Justin Verlander's ERA over his last 2 postseason starts. Verlander getting the ball tonight. Gave up a 2-run home run to Aaron Judge in Game 2. But the offense has largely been AWOL for the Yanks in this series. An OPS of 646. Not up to their standards. And finally, 85% of teams that take a 3-1 lead in a best of 7 have gone on to win that series. The last team to overcome a 3-1 deficit, the Cubs in the 2016